Hello and welcome back to Formula Trout, and welcome back to the Sprint Series. You join us just in time for qualifying, nestled in the corner of the Ardennes here at the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, just mere miles away from where the late great Murray Walker fought in a tank battle of the Second World War. A circuit that in the past was one of the most fierce and one of the most legendary, one of the most majestic, and nowadays maintains that composure. You join myself, Ross McIntyre, and alongside me, the great, the fantastic, the borderline biblical Alex Cochrane in the commentary booth. Alex, how are you doing coming in to this Sprint Series qualifying?
Yeah, I'm doing great. That was a hell of an introduction.
I try my best. My best.
Yeah, doing good. Excited to be back here. Excited to be back here with you, definitely. Currently on board with Cyprian Stoian here in the Sprint Series, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
Myself, it is great to be back in the Formula Trout commentary box again. As I said, if you are just joining us, just in time for qualifying, 9 minutes left to go. Everybody is just heading out to set their first laps in the Sprint Series in these Dallara F317 cars made for us by the wonderful people over at RSR. If you're just joining us, you've never heard about Formula Trout before, just a little bit of a rundown for you. This is the Sprint Series. It's not the main series for Formula Trout. It's the Premier Series, the Sprint Series. It's a bit of an off-season thing that we run in Formula Trout. We typically alternate between the Dallara F317, the old Formula Euro F3 car, as you may know it, or sometimes we alternate that between that and a Formula E style car made for us by the VSR guys. At the moment, Steven Stevenson running away with the championship. He is 53 points to the good, ahead of Thomas Barbary, but then third place as well. He's not here this week. It's Maxi Younger. All three of them Younger GP drivers, of course. Maxi Younger, a god around the Formula Trout and Assetto Corsa parts. He's not here this week. He'll be back next week, he has told me. But Steven Stevenson and Thomas Barbary seems to be the pair to watch this weekend, as we are on board with the championship leader in the number 23 as he makes his way out of the bottom end of the circuit and onto the run into Blanchimont. Formerly one of the biggest corners in the world. Only the men with the biggest cojones can make it through here flat out. But even nowadays, in an old Formula 3 car, it's not even a blink of an eye Now, hard into the bus stop on the brace and bringing in. Let's see what Stevenson can do. I believe he is on a flying lap as much as the time would say. Let's see if the timer... No, he wasn't on that lap. So let's ignore that as we go through. But that is the championship leader that you are on board with. Stevenson, he has had a great season so far. Of course, a Formula Trout Premier Series champion from back in the day. Season 10 in the Formula Alpha 22 made by VRC. He dominated that series. Now here in the Sprint Series, he is here to make a show of it and show what he can do after a bit of a down season out in the Premier Series. It's been a while since we've had a Sprint Series, it must be said. But we're up to halfway through the season now. This is round 5 of 10 at Spa, and so far Stevenson, he has won one race at every round apart from one at Silverstone, where he finished second at third. A podium at every race so far. A phenomenal result planned so far for Stevenson. He is having a phenomenal series, and I'm sure he will be willing to complete that so far. Again, if you are new to the Formula Trout Sprint Series, if you're even new to the Formula Trout, should I say, hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to have you along. Make sure you click the link in the description to join the Discord, and we'll be happy to have you along, and you can find out how to get involved in amongst the finest of Assetto Corsa races. But the Sprint Series, this is not the main Formula Trout Series, that is the Premier Series, as we're on board with Jaap Wagenvoort. The Sprint Series, though, it's a bit of a side series we do. It's a bit of fun, it's a bit of play, I suppose. It's a bit of a enjoyment for the drivers and everybody involved in Formula Trout out there. But it means at the same time, it is still very, very important to everybody involved. We've only had 6 seasons of the Sprint Series compared to the 11 plus of the Premier Series. But in this race tonight, if you're just joining us, 2 races to look forward to. We've got the first race, that'll be 20 minutes long. So given the lap time around here for these cars at Spa, I'm assuming that will be roughly 10-11 minutes long. And then of course a second race, which is a reverse grid for the top 10. Now Alex, you've had your fair share of Sprint Series action. Talk us through, what's it like compared to the Sprint Series to the Premier Series?
It's something for sure. It's hectic, to put it in one word. You know, the Premier Series, you always have the start of the race. You have, you know, you think, oh, how am I going to do the strategy? How am I going to run the tyres? I'm going to start on the softer tyres, the harder tyres. You have to manage the battery in those Premier Series car. Here in the Sprint Series, it's crazy. It's just, you know, from the start of the race till the end of the race, you're battling. Every single corner counts, basically, because the field is so tight. As you can see here, the top 6 is separated by just 3/10 at the moment. And it's like that the whole race. You know, you'll be running nose to tail, 5 laps straight. Everyone's trying to make a move on each other. You go for a move, it goes wrong. You lose in 3 positions. Back of the pack you go. And yeah, and like the Premier Series, you don't have, you know, a pit stop. You don't have another 40 minutes of a race to make up for it. That's it. So yeah, it's crazy. It's very, very exciting. It's different, and but yeah, it's great, to be honest, and it's always good fun to watch here on the stream too.
Absolutely, it is always great fun, and as you said, no mandatory pit stops either, just 20 minutes wheel-to-wheel racing. But at the moment, Stevenson, it's head to the good with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in this qualifying session. He is, well, in sim racing terms, that is a country mile, even though the top 5, I was going to say, are separated by 3 seconds, but Jaap Wagenvoort has just gone to the provisional pole by a 10th of a second. A great lap by Wagenvoort, a great driver in Assetto Corsa, a well-known name around here in Formula Trout. But what can Stevenson do? He's heading into the bus stop, the final pair of corners. We know that in Assetto Corsa, these are a perilous pair of right-left turns. As he comes to the line now, can he go fastest? No, he cannot with 3 seconds left. He maintains a 10th back, and of course, you cannot escape back to the pits in this qualifying session. You cannot hit the escape key, which in Assetto Corsa, that sends you back to the pits. If you do that in qualifying, that is a retirement from the session. It's a similar thing in the race, so you have to make your way back in for an outlap if Stevenson wants another go if he thinks the tyres are good enough, he's going to have to come back in for a fresh pair of virtual rubber. Now, Antoine Bunn is coming out of the bus stop. A very, very tidy exit there. He comes to the line, and he will remain third. Not a very good lap, despite a very tidy final sector. Again, it's very tricky, these former Formula 3 cars in the F317. Again, these Dallara machines have all been replaced in real-life motorsport nowadays. You know, they've got a new F3 car. Even Euro Formula used the F350, the upgraded version of these. They have now moved on to a new chassis. You can kind of tell because they don't have the halo, which many a sim racer hate, but obviously in real life it is a life-saving device, so we have to use it. And obviously in real life as well, it's not as much of an issue in sim racing. That's one thing many people don't consider in sim racing, is that many people are sat using one screen, 2D screen. Some people might have 3D, 3 screens to go with them. But it's not, three-dimensional. It's all on a 2D backdrop. In real life, you got 2 eyes. The way that the eyes work and where the halo sits, you can't really see it. So that's what it is. But we're here using the F317 from Dallara anyway. Obviously made beautifully by everybody over at RSR Sim Racing for Assetto Corsa. And Stevenson is now coming back into the stop. He's decided not to go for the pit. He's decided to go for another lap. Can he make it? Provisional pole as he comes to the line. It looks like a pretty tidy lap. It's a 9.9 to beat, and it is. Wow, Stevenson, what a lap! A 2 minute 09.665. That puts him 2.5 tenths above Jaap Jagenvoort, who himself is 2.5 tenths over everybody else but Jagenvoort. Or Wagenvoort, shall I say. Oh, he was on a lap, but he's messed it up. He's into the gravel. And he is not out necessarily, but with the time that's left over the remainder of the lap, coming through Les Combes, I think that may be it. Antoine Bunn, he's coming to the line again. Barbary, another great driver. He is not going to improve on that time. He settles for third at the moment, but it could go for another lap. Still 10 seconds remaining on the timer, but again, because it's a 2-minute lap, over a 2-minute lap, should I say, Assetto Corsa may kick them out before the lap is over. We'll have to see, because as much as we love this fantastic sim as Vanterland comes in, sometimes Assetto Corsa has what I describe as an Assetto Corsa moment. And it just decides that it wants to end qualifying after a few minutes after the checkered flag, and some people do not get to set their lap. Spa-Francorchamps, he is a 10th down through the first sector, but it was looking tidy through Les Combes and now into Bruxelles. It's all looking very tidy for the CRG driver.
Oh, Barbari's in the pits.
Oh yeah, Barbari's in the pits. That is over. So all of the top 10, barring Spa-Francorchamps, they've come in, but Stoyan is still going for it. A very nice line through No Name. Oh, a little bit wide. Well, I say a little wide, very wide coming through Pouham. That should be okay though. Unless it gained him time, but it shouldn't have done because that was quite wide. He's still on it though. Coming to the Sector 2 line now as he heads through Stavelot. Oh, when it's 7 tenths down. But his current time is 1.5 seconds down. So, potentially time on the board. Valet to Group are potentially on offer for Spa-Francorchamps. Heads through Blanchiment. Again, a big corner back in the day. Nowadays, just a flick of the wrists and through you go, flat out, even in a Formula 3 car. Through to bus stop. Make or break time. Oh, maybe break time, Stoyan in.
Yeah, gives up on it. Lost the rear. In the pits he goes.
And that's the way. That is the way with Spa in Assetto Corsa. Unfortunately, bus stop is particularly brutal. I've been there. I know you've certainly been there, Alex, before. Sometimes through a bus stop, this game just spits you out. Wagenvoort is not on a lap. He is going to come in. So that looks like it will be our grid for race 1. Stevenson on pole, a 209.655, over 2.5 tenths better than Jaap Wagenvoort in P2. A fantastic lap there as everyone makes their way into the pits. As there's someone trying to complete a lap there, that's Nick Chin. And he does actually improve. I thought he might have spun out on that last corner, actually, but he does improve.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did. He goes up to P11. Fair play to Nick Chin. But that's the end of our qualifying. Steven Stevenson, once again on pole, a 209.655. He continues his domination of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Of course, he is a Premier Series champion. He didn't follow up with the championship, and you know, your casual viewer may have thought that he was cooked potentially, but we all know that in sim racing, the way that it works is that you take a year out and you come back stronger than ever. Stevenson on pole, Wagenvoort in second, Barbary in third, 3 tenths off. But Stevenson, his lap, 2.5 tenths to the good. You got to think in race 1, he's got to be one to reckon with. And again, when you look at his record of race 2s as well, with the reverse top 10, he has been so strong. Apart from round 1 at Red Bull Ring, and round 2, well, I say that, well, should I say, he won round 1 at Red Bull Ring in the reverse grid. You know, podium in round 2, a podium in round 3, a podium in round 4. The guy is just made of something else. Steven Stevenson, he is on pole for the Formula Trout Sprint Series Race 1 here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And he will be looking to get yet another win in Race 1 under his belt and extend his championship gap, which, as we enter the halfway point of the season, currently stands at 53 points over Barbary. His team owner, Max Yinger, he sits at third in the championship. He is a no-show this weekend. He'll be here next weekend at Donington, but not here this weekend. And that, to be fair, does offer fantastic opportunity to Jaap Wagenvoort, because Oscar Williams of Infowood Racing, he's also not here. Wagenvoort is 5th in championship at the moment. 63 points at the moment. 17 points away from Yinger. He does stand a fantastic chance of jumping the legendary around these parts, Max Yinger. And, well, we'll just have to see how he does as we wait for the race to get going. Well, Alex, a very exciting qualifying session there. Who is your money on for race 1? I mean, let's be honest, it's Steven Stevenson, but who's your money on for race 1?
I mean, Stevenson obviously starting pole, but then, you know, Wagenvoort, he's a bit of a Spa specialist. Shame to see him spin there. I think he could have challenged Stevenson for pole. Obviously, P2 isn't bad. And you know, Spa specialist, you got that long straight starting second here. It's not the worst place to start the race in the world. We've seen, you know, Formula 1, often the pole sitter can lose the lead at the start of the race. So I wouldn't rule Jaap out for sure.
We'll have to end and see. The drivers are lining up on the grid. We are moments away from the start of race 1 in the 5th round of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. It will be Steven Stevenson, your championship leader and a Formula Trout Premier Series winner, on pole position in the Yinger GP Cup. Alongside him, Wagenvoort. After NNC, what is going to happen? You see the Mercedes at the back of the pack. That belongs to your fantastic co-commentator and streamer, Alex Cochrane, who will jump back into the pits in a brief moment, I am sure. Again, Assetto Corsa. There we go. Assetto Corsa. We love it as much as it doesn't offer us on the broadcast booth much of an opportunity to give a provocative, give a fantastic broadcast. Shall we say?
We do our best.
We do our best. We do our best. But here we are then. Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, round 5 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. The lights are on. It is lights out. We are underway. It is a fantastic start from the UGP cars on the inside. Wagenvoort has a look to the inside, but it will be Steven Stevenson leading the way to turn 1. Oh, and there is the lockup in the background, but it looks like somehow into turn 1 on a sim race, We are all through clean. Stevenson leads Vagabond, leads Barbary, but not for long. They're side by side. Rouge, Barbary, shoved out wide. Vagabond may get through. But it is Stevenson who leads the way, and now it is the draft battle. It's who can get the slipstream heading down on the run into Lake Com. It will be Stevenson who takes the lead. Vargenvoort will maintain second as Barbary is into third. Once again, we are fantastically clean. As I say that, that is Draper almost into the wall in the background, should I say. But Stevenson, what a great start there, Alex.
Yeah, impressive to hold the lead on that first lap. You know, Barbary behind maybe helped him out a little bit. He was the one taking his slipstream, his teammate. Wagenvoort just had to kind of sit off to the side. Couldn't get that draft, couldn't get the run on Wagenvoort. Has to stay in second.
Absolutely. On board with Barbary on the run through Puan. And now into the daunting right, left, right of campus. He maintains his third position at the moment, but again, it's early in the race. Still 18 minutes left to go. This should be roughly a 9-lap race. We'll wait and see what is going to unfold. Ooh, someone onto the grass on the outside there. As we go with Jaap Wagenvoort doing a fantastic job so far this evening. But he's under pressure from Thomas Barbary, who decides not to have a look down the outside of Boström, but he's going to have a look down the outside of the bus stop, who is later on the brakes. They are neck and neck banging wheels. But it will be Wagenvoort who maintains that position. Great stuff there, Alex.
Yeah, I thought he was going to lock up and go straight on there. You know, we saw a big puff of smoke, but he did manage to hold on to the position, did Wagenvoort. Vanterland, meanwhile, further back is battling with Antoine Bunn, one of the Impact Blue cars for 4th and 5th. Feel like he may have a run as they go down the Camel Straight here. Up Rouge / Radion.
Oh, it's Radion actually. Let's not get started with that, shall we? Stevenson leads the way, followed by Barbary, Wagenvoort, Vanterland, and Antoine Bunn in 5th place. It will be Wagenvoort or Barbary, should I say, who maintains that P2 coming through Lake Com.
He actually gained that P2.
You did gain that P2.
He did gain the P2. I think the younger cars must be running lower aero because they were not that close on that straight, but Barbary just flew through. You know, up Radion, there's no real challenge to that in these types of cars, and yeah, he's 6/10 in front now.
Well, that's part of the joy of Spa is the setup, because Spa is a track where each 3 sector has, you know, a different setup profile that's needed for it. You know, there's a great story of Michael Schumacher asking for a lower downforce setup at Spa during qualifying. I believe it was in the late 90s when I was with Ferrari. And, you know, his engineers were telling him that, you know, he was going to lose out in sector 2 and 3 with the lower downforce setup. He turned around and said, let me handle that, went on and got pole. Every single sector at Spa requires a different approach, a different setup. But right now it's the Euro GP cars who are seemingly have the right setup and seemingly have the pace in this opening race with 50 minutes and 47 left to go. It is Stevenson from Barbary, your top 2. Wagenvoort is in 3rd as Antoine Bunn up the inside of Vanterland into the bus stop. Wonderful move. Textbook move by Vanterland. As they cross the line now. I apologize, it was actually Bunn who's actually got the better exit out of the bus stop, so Bunn will maintain that position. It looked like Barbary was said and done, but just didn't quite get the traction. And now on board with Kevin Vanek, who's now trying to aid his teammate in Bunn with the attack from Vanterland as they head through Eau Rouge. Even though it's flat nowadays, it is still one of the most daunting corners in motorsport. Oh. And the Impact Blue drivers are going to give it all they've got as Kevin Van 3 wide to the inside. Brilliant stuff from Kevin Van. He will move up into P4 as Antoine Bunn moves down into P7. according to our timestamps, well, I was about to say Spa-Francorchamps was into first place, but that seems to be a problem on our behalf. He is not in P7, P1, I can tell that. Spa-Francorchamps, unfortunately for him, is in P7 as it stands. Again, Assetto Corsa, you got to take what you can from it. Let's follow Kevin Vanek round for a while, shall we, as they head through the daunting corner of P1. As I said earlier, again, while Spa nowadays in a modern Formula car, even in a modern, well, I say modern, an older modern Formula 3 car, is, you know, an easier circuit with all the, you know, flat corners, the likes of Eau Rouge, Pouon, Radion, the corners that in days gone by were the big corners. Nowadays they are easy in comparison, but even in these F317 Dallaras, it is still a challenge because Spa, it's all about tactics. It's all about making your opponent think otherwise. That's making your opponent think otherwise. Vantalan, what a move! At the inside through Blanchimon. But can he make Vantalan hold off on the outside through the buster? We'll have to wait and see. Yes, he can. Brilliant stuff from Vantalan. Alex, I'm sure you've had many a lap round here at Spa. What does it take to be quick around here?
Yeah, it is a difficult circuit. You say it's easy in these modern cars, and it is in a way, but it's really difficult to be, you know, pounding in those fast lap times time and time again. It's a corner with a lot of, you know, medium, high-speed corners, and they can really catch you out. You know, they come through that final sector there before they go onto the straight with Blanchimont. Can't remember what the corner's called, I'm afraid, but, you know, you run a little bit too wide, and you'll just dip your wheels in the gravel, and that's 3, 4, 5 tenths lost. Vanek looks to the outside on Vantaland here now as he brakes really late and does actually manage to get the move done. That was an incredible move.
Yeah, fantastic move there as Kevin Vance goes through.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see that at all. But yeah, that corner there is a good example because, you know, we saw Kevin Vanek there was, you know, late on the brakes, got right to the outside of the corner. If you overcook that, you run wide and you're just losing so much time, and it's a corner where you really need to commit. As I go through Pouhon here, a similar one, you can kind of get away with running wide there, as we just saw Kevin Vanek do there. But then again, this next one, another right-left chicane, very high speed, well, relatively high speed for a chicane. You know, you just run a little wide, little tight, you're bouncing over a curb, you're into the gravel, and this one's the killer. You know, this is the corner I was speaking about at the start of the lap. You run a bit wide there, dip a wheel into that gravel, especially with the new revisions to this Spa circuit where they've increased the amount of gravel there, got rid of the AstroTurf. It just ruins your exit onto this straight, and it'll cost you so much time. You know, positions really can mess your race up if you do get that wrong. And yeah, none of the drivers did this lap.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I will apologise if you hear any of us sneezing or coughing in the commentary booth. I am struggling with the back end of a cold. But as you said, Alex, I mean, you know, even in the modern era, where Spa is considered not quite so challenging as it once was, and I mean that not even in the old sense where, you know, you had the corners like the Master Kink and all those old, you know, the back end of the circle where you're going 180 miles an hour and what was essentially a bathtub. But even nowadays, where it's you know, flat through many of the corners, there's still a brutal circuit, and if you do make a mistake, it will mess you up. And you know, even with the new Radion, should I say, for example, where they've extended the runoff, you know, that just makes it, you know, even deadlier, because, you know, in a driver's mind, you see the extended runoff and you can think, oh, I can take that faster. So, you know, if your GT3, your GT4 drives, for example, you go into there thinking, I can take that faster. So it's still a precarious circuit. Nonetheless, as we're on with Antoine Plum, yeah, Spa, it is a tricky circuit. Nonetheless, it's a circuit that broke a monitor of mine once because it fell off onto my steering wheel. And I try not to remember that. I haven't sim raced in 2 years, even though I keep up the commentary, but that was, I will be honest, one of the last times I sim raced because it kind of put me off it. But
the G-force is that high.
Listen, I still love sim racing, even though I don't do it nowadays. But yeah, my monitor falling onto my wheel through Spa-Francorchamps moment was not a happy moment in my life. But we're here now, and that's what matters. And Steven Stevenson is 1.2 seconds to good ahead of Thomas Barbary. And Barbary, we know, is a spectacular driver. He entered Formula Trout with an absolute storm to his name, finished runner-up in the 11th season of the Formula Trout Premier Series with Trinity Motorsport. Only just about losing out to Cody Lawrence. 45 points was the score at the end of the season. But Barbary really put in a good shift there. His teammate as well, Lenny Pont. He only did 2 races that year, but those 2 races he won and got fastest lap in both of them as well. So we know that Barbary, the Frenchman, is he's made from strong stuff, shall we say? And again, if we're putting our real motor world hats on, you know, Spa is not that far from France. We all talk about the Belgian historic track that is Spa-Francorchamps. But quite frankly, it's about 3 miles outside of the border from France. So you know, let's not bang on too much about it. They speak French in this part of Belgium. But enough about what languages we speak and where tracks are. Let's get back to the racing, shall we? As we see Kevin Vanek, he's still holding off Van Talant at the moment, who's got Bond behind him, but he's doing a great job to hold him off. But how much longer does that last? Because we've got just under 8 minutes left to run in this race. And at Spa, anything can happen as they head through No Name, which is unofficially called the Jackie X Corner. Another, I do have a lot of fun facts for Spa tucked under my belt, which is another story for another day why I have so many facts for Spa. But, well, it's unofficially called the Jackie X Corner.
Isn't it the other way around, though?
No, it's not. So it's never been named that corner, which is why we in sim racing call it No Name. In motorsport, especially in Formula 1, they call it Speaker's Corner, actually.
Yeah, that's what I've
heard. Because back in the day, when it was, you know, you didn't have cameras and stuff all around the circuit, they used to have someone called the Speaker, which is basically what we do. But they used to stand on the top of the pit wall. They used to shout what they could see. And at a corner, you know, No Name as we know it in the sim racing world, that was the first corner they could see after they came back around the hill. So it was called Speaker's Corner. But in sim racing we call it No Name. But in racing it's called Speaker's Corner. At the circuit they refer to it as the Jackie X Corner.
That's what I've heard as well.
It's never officially been named that. It was never officially named the Jackie X Corner, as that was a slight mistake by Vanek. So quite frankly, I'm probably going to refer to it as No Name, and you can deal with it, frankly. Here goes Van Talant on the run into Eau Rouge. He's in the slipstream of Vanek. If he can get a good draft out of Radion, and he will have a good draft out of Radion. Here goes Van Talant to the outside, coming through the straight after Radion. And he will get that position, surely. Yes, he will. Wonderful racing. But no, they're 3 wide. The draft has come back. And somehow, Bun is going to take P4 through that. Bun and Vanek have swapped places. Van Talant is still in the same position after that whole debacle. Unbelievable stuff here.
That was absolutely the mirror's image from a few laps ago. It was Vanek going through into 4th last time. It's Bund going into 4th this time, with Van Talant trying to be the one getting into 4th and failing on both times. That doubled draft down that Kemmel Straight, just so much more powerful for that trailing car. And yeah, just two positions in one straight, not too bad.
I mean, it's the Kemmel Straight view, isn't it, Alex? I mean, it's just you can get such a powerful slipstream. I mean, obviously these cars don't have DRS, but you know, you're a Premier Series racer. You know, going down the Kemmel, that's one of the best overtaking opportunities on the calendar.
Yeah, like it's almost a guaranteed overtake. You know, if you're within DRS, you can almost certainly get through. You see Van Talant getting close here as they're about to go through Blanchemont. He's going to go down the inside again. But wow, he does manage it. Impressive move. Not the first time he's done it this race either.
Incredible move there from Van Talant. He's going to put on the defensive into the bus stop though. And I say into the bus stop. He's got to do it out of the bus stop as well. Such is the nature of that chicane. I believe he will hold it into last source. Can Bond dive up the inside? No.
Oh!
Breaks. Oh,
the
turns
rear?
around! A half spin then. A half spin. From that to London. Somehow, he has managed to hold on to 5th place. Excuse me, as I've got hiccups, but he loses that to 6th place. Kevin Van goes through, or 7th place, yeah. So he was into 7th, that was got the slipstream, and through he goes. He shouldn't be attacking. Head, he leaves the space on the outside. Alex, I'll pass over to you while I'm trying to recover from my
No
hiccups,
problem.
which is not very professional of me, but you know, when needs must. But Van Talan, that was almost disaster.
Yeah, he's really kind of got lucky with having the second Impact Blue car there. You know, there's only 3 minutes 30 in this race. If he's clearly has the pace to finish 4th, but he's not really able to get that move done and not really able to build that gap to get that 4th place that he so much wants. As you can see, he's been making so many overtakes for it to just flip back the other way, and yeah, into that turn 1, just lost the rear of the car as the tyres wear of these. You know, the balance of the car switches as the brakes wear. Well, get the brakes temperature ranges, especially at a track like this. You know, you have really long straights where the brakes are going to cool down, but then super heavy braking zones. And then that middle sector where you're just kind of, you know, lifting, brushing the brakes a little bit, downshifting, getting back on the power again. And it really varies. A track of a lot of variables, you know. As I said, the long straights cool it down, and then the heavy braking brings it up. And yeah, that turn 1, just catching him out as the tyres have wore off. He's locked that rear and just gone around, had that half spin, which is very lucky, because he could have gone around 360 degrees. And, well, 180 degrees facing the wrong way, I guess. And then, yeah, he would have been a lot further down than the 5th that he's managed to stay in. But he's catching back up to Antoine Bunn now, so might be able to have another move. 2 minutes to go here at Spa.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go in this opening race at Spa. Stevenson has clocked out as far as sim racing goes. 2.2 seconds to the good, as there we see the man in the lead of the race. His teammate for Younger GP, Thomas Barbary, the Frenchman, desperately trying to chase him down, but can't do anything. Javagenvort, he's in 3rd, but he's still quite some distance away. At this point, I think the top 3 is a done deal, but 4th, 5th, 6th is not done yet, as we see Van Talant on board chasing down Bunn. These guys are still aiming to swap positions, but again, you've got to remember, Van Talant off the road, does he hold it? Yes, he does. Just about, but that will cost him a lot of time. That may just give Bunn 4th place, given the time remaining. We should have one more lap to decide this race, but we'll see how it goes. But Bunn should be just about escaping Van Talant and Vanet, so it's between those two for 5th and 6th. As Bunn is looking very, very pretty in P4 at the moment, but you got to remember as well that the top 10 is reversed for race 2 against Steven Stevenson. He's a bit of a reverse grid merchant, despite the fact that he's won so many races in the opening race. He will somehow come back and finish on the podium. We will have one more lap with 25 seconds to go. We should be about 20 seconds coming to the line. The Spa-Francorchamps line is deceptively late down the way. As much as the Formula 1 games want you to believe that the Spa line is just after the bus stop, it is not. As there we see an overtake. That is De Groot on Spa-Francorchamps, I believe, heading through, and it is indeed De Groot on Spa-Francorchamps for P8. And that's Kevin Van. Kevin Van's in the pits.
He must be out of fuel. I don't see why else you would
can't
pit.
refuel. You can't refuel.
No, but why else would you pit? It's the final lap of the race. Changing
Maybe
tyres won't help
damage.
him.
Unbelievable. One of the front runners into the pits with on the final lap, Kevin Van Pits. And now that means Cyprian Stoyan and the group can challenge for 6th place. Stoyan goes through. But does he hold it to the inside of the Kemmel Straight? It's going to be who's later on the brake. Stoyan's on the dirty side of this track into Lake Comey, chops across. Stoyan gets it. Coming through Lake Com. Brilliant action wherever you look here in Formula Trout Sprint Series. Oh, but he locked up slightly. There goes the group back through as they head through Bruxelles. Probably the trickiest corner on the circuit. Downhill, off camber, and a hairpin. It's caught out many a driver before. It's caught out Cyprian Stoyan today. But as they head through Huon, flat out in these older Formula... I mean, I say older. It feels weird because they're not that old, but they are older than the modern Formula 3 cars, should I say. Through Huon and the following corners they go. But as we go on board with the race leader, it's going to be another win for the man who has been a Premier Series champion and has dominated this series so far. It's going to be a 3rd Sprint Series win, a 4th of the season for Steven Stevenson. He dominates here in Spa. Thomas Barbary, he finishes in 2nd. Wagenvort takes 3rd place. As we see more battles, that's Stoyan and De Groot. They're going for the line. Bun finishes 4th. Talan finishes 5th. Who finishes in 6th place is going to be De Groot. Brilliant stuff there. Brilliant racing. But that was close to the line.
Vanit finishes P9 as well in front of Jackson, so not sure why he pitted then in the end.
Neither am I, to be honest with you, Alex. I'm not sure if it was well, it can't have been a fuel stop because fuel stops are not allowed in the sprint series. Maybe he got damaged and he didn't want to continue with. But Vanit finishes 9th behind Ricaccia, should I say? Jackson in 10th. That is your race 1 here at Spa. Steven Stevenson, once again, he is a winner in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. And once again, continues his streak of podiums, which lasts for 9 races now.
Crazy.
You know, Max Verstappen, eat your heart out. But Thomas Barbary, the Frenchman, a very respectable P2. And Wagenvort into P3 to finish out our podium in race 1.
Yeah, it was
exciting.
It was a bit of a quiet one for the top 3 there. After the first lap, it kind of settled itself down, but that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th with the 2 Impact Blue cars and Vanterland in the Infoward, really back and forth. Shame to see that Vanit down in P9, but yeah, I'm sure Bun is happy with the P4 that he finally got in the end.
Well, luckily, we have race 2 with the reverse top 10 on our hands shortly. So, hopefully that provides a bit more action. Unless you're a Stevenson fan, in which case it means another podium. Because since the opening round at the Red Bull Ring, where he took 2nd in the opening race and then P1 in the reverse grid race, Steven Stevenson has finished 2nd or 3rd in every single race 2 we've had since then. So we'll wait and see. But that was your race 1 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series round 5 here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And we are just patiently waiting for the start of race 2. Another 20-minute race, but a reverse grid top 10 if you are new to Formula Trout. And again, if you are new to Formula Trout, make sure you click on the Discord link in the description. It'd be a pleasure to have you along. That's where all the organising is done. That's where everything happens, basically. And it will be fantastic to have you along there and see you and potentially get you involved.
Yeah, we're always looking for new people to join us. You know, we've got the grid here. It's quite I think we've got 15, 16 cars starting the race. It's a healthy number for the sprint series, but we will always be glad to have more coming along. The Discord server is a friendly place. You know, it's not just a sim racing league. It's not just a bit of a community. It is just a bit of a community as well. People play, you know, a lot of other games there. We're a friendly bunch. Say hello, get involved. We would be very glad to have you here. Yeah, currently we're in the sprint series, the F3 cars we're running at the moment. Traditionally, we run the Premier Series, which is, you know, maybe some of you are more familiar with if you're just tuning in. But that is where we run the Premier Series, the Formula Hybrid cars from RSS traditionally. We ran the VRC Formula Alpha in the past as well. It always puts on a good show. You know, the cars very varied, very different strategies. We simulate, you know, modern Formula One, modern Formula top flight racing, kind of as close as we can. There's custom teams. You know, it's a good show, and yeah, we would be very glad for everyone to get involved. If you would like to, you can, you know, just try out the sprint series here, or you can get involved in the Premier Series, which should be, you know, we always plan to start mid early of the year. You know, around May. Hopefully earlier if the RSS or VRC can maybe release their car a bit earlier. They could you know, give us a sneak preview if you're watching, guys at RSS or VRC. We would love to take a look. But yeah, that is what we traditionally do, and we would love to have you here. Cars are forming on the grid now. I think we may be without Ross for the start of the race, but I can fill you in as I have done many rounds previously, as the lights start to come on here at Spa. Carter Jackson is the car on pole. On the left alongside him is Kevin Vannett, who had to pit in that first race, but who will get the better getaway from the grid. It looks like a pretty even start from all of them. Radocchia in the Stella Alnak goes to the middle of the track. Good getaway for him. One of the cars losing control in the background as they come together. The three leaders of the race all off at turn one. Just sandwiched between the middle of them. I think Radocchia up the middle. It was Vannett didn't know there was a car on his inside, came across and sandwiched them. That has allowed Stoyan in the CRG car into the lead already. Antoine Bunn in P2. Jaap Wagenvoort in P3 already. Stevenson in P6 after that disastrous start for the leaders of this second race here at Spa. They come down the straight now. 4 wide nearly in the background. 2 of the younger GP cars on the inside trying to go past the infoward of Wagenvoort. Wagenvoort holding on as they come together. Wagenvoort in the air into the gravel. Hello, welcome back, Ross. It's been a bit of a chaotic start so far. That's Wagenvoort and Baberi into the gravel on the outside of the chicane. Stevenson up into P2 even.
Yeah, Wagenvoort nearly going over there into the gravel on the outside of Lake Con, but it is Spa-Francorchamps leading the way. But Stevenson up to P2 on the opening lap. You could not dream of a better start for your race one winner. He'll be having his sights on the first sweep in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Who we wanted to win both races here. My oh my, Wagenvoort and Barbary, what a dreadful start for them. Real shame just getting involved there coming through Lake Com. The round they went and almost over for Wagenvoort, but it is as they head through. Spa-Francorchamps that leads the way. Stevenson in second, Bunn in third, on board with Leon de Groot in P4. Momentarily, he's going to have a go on Bunn outside or through Blanchimont. I'm not sure how well that's going to go. It doesn't quite go as well as you wanted because it doesn't get the run, but it will have the inside line into the bus stop later on the brakes, and a brilliant move from Leon de Gront. There's a lock up there in the background, but Leon de Gront, or de Gront, should I say. Fantastic stuff. He moves up into P3 with 17.5 minutes left in race 2. Spa-Francorchamps still is the way from your race 1 winner, Stevenson. And the group in P3, there is Stevenson as we head through Eau Rouge and Radion. Brilliant stuff there from all of them. Coming through, you can see the cars just dancing their way through the best section of corners in motorsport. And that's not my opinion, that's objective. On board with Vantalan. Looks to the inside of Vogt and goes to the inside. And that is a lovely textbook maneuver. Simon Wagenvoort though, down to P7. Jan Wagenvoort though, down and out at the moment, P12. A real shame for him. How can Simon do for the family name? We'll have to wait and see as Stevenson maintains that P7 Steuern. A very strange line out of no name as they head through the fantastic flat out corner as Puon. And now down into the tricky right, left, right of the tricky chicane that is campus. Stevenson still looking for a way through, but further back in the pack. Action arrow look on board with Kevin Vanet. As he looks back, Wagenvoort, Cordray, Radosha, and Snodgeier all in the mix for this P7 position. As they're now on the flat out run through Blanchimont on board with Stevenson, your race one winner. And he maybe make a dive bomb on the inside into the bus stop. He decides against it. He did have a little look there, but decided it wasn't the one. Maybe he'll decide the way is to go into La Source because it was a slightly worse exit from Cyprian Steuern. And here comes Stevenson with the fastest lap of the race. A 2:10.749 to the inside. Stevenson and into the lead. Easy as you like, but it's not over yet. They've got the Kemmel Straight to negotiate with. Barbary now has the fastest lap of 2:10.434 on board with Steuern. He will get the draft. He will get the slipstream. He's going to go to the outside already on the run down the Kemmel Straight. Not sure that I would have gone that early personally, but and with the inside has Stevenson. Neck and neck. Do they bang wheels? Who could tell? Into Lake Com. It should be Stevenson. It is Stevenson who gets the lead and maintains that lead into Lake Com. Stevenson is having a masterful evening here at Spa-Francorchamps on board with Simon Wagenvoort as he chases down Kevin Vanet. A little bit too far ahead for a move at the moment, but in the background, Radosha is going on to Cordray. Great move there from Roberto Radosha. He moves up into P8. More point paying positions for him. As Jan Wagenvoort now moves up into, I believe that's P9. We've got Radosha ahead. Oh! Wagenvoort hard into the wall. A shocking incident here in Spa. Jan Wagenvoort has been sent into the outside wall at Puon. I'm not sure whether that was contact or netcode, but it didn't look like a natural accident. A shocking incident. We hope he can keep moving as we're on board with Barbary.
I saw puncture.
Oh, Wagenvoort puncture. Wagenvoort's got a puncture. Unbelievable. He's out of the race. Yeah, Wagenvoort's out of the race. Unbelievable, Alex. It's Snodgeier. Snodgeier, should I say. He goes on here to the inside. All locks up slightly, both wheels, and that will maintain Barbary in the lead. But Alex, what happened there? Talk us through. You're the driver here. What happened to Jan Wagenvoort?
Yeah, I mean, we were just on board and then just 360 degrees, very high speed crash off at Pujon there. I don't think he lost control. Maybe it was contact from car behind. Maybe it's a bit of a sim racing netcode thing. Yeah, I don't think he was the one to blame there. And yeah, it's very sad to see him out of the race now. It's basically every driver that isn't Stevenson has been cursed this race. Stevenson is in the lead, Steuern behind. All the podium sitters from last race are, one is out of the race, one is in P9, the other is leading. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame to see Wagenvoort out like that. I'm not sure if you caught it, Ross, but at the start of the race we had, the three leaders come into turn one. Radosha got a great start up the middle of the three, but I think it was Vanit. He just didn't know there was another car on the inside, came across, sandwiched them, and all three of them went off at turn one. And yeah, obviously we saw that second incident later on with Wagenvort and Thomas Barry getting together. And yeah, that's created the perfect storm of allowing Stevenson to build this 2-second gap on the third lap of the race already, with his closest championship rival, 20 seconds behind or so, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, that's sim racing for you. Unfortunately, accidents do happen. And a real shame for Falkenborg. He looks to be out of this race. And, well, a puncture this early in the race is not what you want. But with 11 minutes and 15 to go, yellow flag is out.
I don't know why.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, not sure why. Again, no safety cars in the sprint series. As Stevenson sets the fastest lap of the race, 2:10.350. It's his race to lose now. Stevenson. As we see battles at the back of the back on board with Thomas Barbary. Is he going to be able to find a way through? I don't believe so. No, he is not going to be able to through last source, but he may get the run. Last one, I'd say.
I get two here if he's lucky.
Last one, I see the double slipstream for Thomas Barbary. Oh, running wide goes Wagenvort. That's Simon Wagenvort. Oh, he's have to lift off his Thomas Barbary. But now he goes to the inside, almost on the grass. Shades of Schumacher and Hakkinen. But Thomas Barbary, oh, 3 wide, real shades of Schumacher and Hakkinen. Barbary gets the places. Phenomenal action here at Spa. Thomas Barbary is going like an intercontinental ballistic virtual carbon fiber missile as he heads through into P7. Brilliant stuff from the Frenchman. Simon Wagenvort, the big loser there though, he drops down to P9.
Yeah, it was really impressive driving from all three of them there as Wagenvort runs a little wide through Pujon. It was aggressive from all three of them, but just the right amount of aggression, just a little space left for him on the inside, squeezed through. They all avoided contact, they all got through safely. And yeah, Bavari's making his way back up the field now. I'm sure he's carrying damage though after that lap 1 incident. P7 at the moment, see where he can improve to Groot. Meanwhile, looking at Stoyan through Blanchemont.
What's going to happen? Shout to confirm that Barbary did not put enough fuel in the car in race 1, hence his pit stop. And a real shame for him, which he can't refuel, so he had to take a very slow lap. But Stevenson sets another fastest lap of 2:10.274 there for your race leader. He's 4 seconds to the good at the moment on board with Antoine Boone. Maybe he'll get the draft. Into Eau Rouge we go. That's Cyprian Stoyan and De Groot ahead. Let's see what he can do with the slipstream. Coming down the Kemmel Straight on board once again. And there you can see... Oh, he backed off. He backed off. I'm not sure why he backed off. I mean, Alex, you're the racer. Do you have any reason why he backed off?
No, I thought the move was on there. So, yeah, it's strange driving. Unless he is just being a bit patient. Looks to the inside of the hairpin here. Stoyan, they're both keeping pace with Stoyan, so it's not necessarily like, he's running away and he needs to get past the group, right away. But yeah, weird to see him back off there. Unless maybe something happened a bit earlier on we didn't see and he's just, just paying him back for something. Well, not paying him back, but, giving him the position, let's say, if there was contact perhaps. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, why he did back out.
I think I'm in agreement. I think he's waiting. We'll have to, I didn't see. But Antoine Blunt is currently P4 as they head through the bottom end of the circuit at Avalon. He will have slipstream through Blanchemont. Won't be enough off of an eye distance judge. We'll have to wait and see. Lose a little bit to the outside to get the slipstream. No, it's not going to be enough this time around with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to run. Misses the inside apex a little bit for a bus stop. Maybe this time is the time for Anton Bond. Maybe he's just in the mirrors of the group. Maybe he's just trying to pressure the driver in front as the group makes a mistake. But Bond, oh, a big kick of oversteer on the exit of last horse. But he will have the run. He's got the slipstream.
Let's add something. Give us a bit more info. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do.
Back into the pit lane momentarily, but now here we go. There goes Antoine Bon into the podium places. And that is surely a done move. And indeed it is. Leon de Groot will have to settle for 4th place as it stands. That's the go. It's Stevenson, Stoyan, Bun, your top 3 here at Spa, but Stoyan is under attack from Bun, but he's got the inside into No Name, but around the outside goes Bun. Oh, and they're neck and neck. This could be interesting. Bun has got the place. 3 drivers neck and neck into P1. Oh my word! And that is the crew taking P3. Brilliant, brilliant action here at Spa in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Bun goes to 2nd. The group goes to 3rd. Cyprian Stoyan can only hold on to 4th place at the moment. But there is Van Talant as well. He's in the mix as well. If these guys keep fighting in front of him, there is a potential podium on the cards. We will have to wait and see. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. That's a little bit of an off track there from Cyprian Stoyan. Oh, he's up into the gravel. There was contact between himself and the group. And Cyprian Stoyan is off into the gravel. He manages to keep himself going, somehow doesn't beat himself. But Cyprian Stoyan drops down the order. He will be about P8, I believe. But what a shame for Cyprian Stoyan. Neck and neck sometimes. It does not work out. And that means that Bun and the group have it all to play for. Van Talant behind as well as we go on board with him. These guys are going to all to fight out for the remaining podium places because Stevenson is up the road almost 8 seconds. The race runner, pending a mistake, is almost confirmed. But Van Talant is going to the outside down the Kemmel Straight for P3, who is later on the brakes into Lake Com. Around the outside. Oh, here we go. Into the gravel goes Van Talant. Oh, he spun it into the wall. Van Talant makes the mistake. He couldn't hold the car. And off into the wall he goes. That means the group.
I think he's stuck.
P3. Oh, he might be beached.
Oh, no, gets it going, but disastrous.
Almost beached. But a real shame for him. It was
Race
fighting for podium
so far.
places. Now down into P9. Oh, Van Talant. That is a real shame for him. Here on board with Leon Grant. With running a bit of a no man's land at the moment. Not challenging Bun in front. He's not facing a challenge from Barbary behind. Barbary, of course, would love to move forward to make it another double podium for GP as Stevenson looks set for 2 wins in this round. But after anything, there's still 2 minutes that are left to go. That's roughly 3 laps, I want to say.
2, I think. We'll get this one,
3.
and then the one afterwards.
I can't do maths. I mean, I got the worst maths score in my year at GCSE, so you know, we'll take it as we go. But we're following Cyprian Story now after that mistake. He's following Radocha on board with Cyprian as he heads into La Source. Little bit of a missed apex, but he does get a very, very good exit. That should give him the slipstream down into Lake Com as they head through La Source. Shouldn't be too much of an issue heading through Radion and Eau Rouge. A little bit of a rev drop off, but as we continue on board with them, I think it is maybe too far back for the attempt this time. I was trying to see. I think he's going to be too far back. He is too far back for the attempt. So Cyprian Stoyan.
Radocha wide.
Oh, the road! Radocha off the road. That means that Stoyan into P6. Does Vargavor get through as well onto the run into Ruxel? He will get through surely. A big shock there as Radocha goes off the road. And through goes Simon Vargavor into P6. That is a big shame for Radocha. But capitalizing on the mistake is one Simon Vargavor. As we follow Steven Stevenson around, we'll get one more lap in here at Spa. With 35 seconds left on the clock. There is his nearest competitor, Antoine Bunn. Assuming there is no Stevenson mistake, as Simon Vargavor goes round. Radocha back through.
That's a shame.
Oh, and Vantalan. Oh, Vantalan's going back through.
Lights
Radocha
up the tyres.
Yeah, just let up the tyres there. It's easily done. I'm sure you've done it before, Alex. I've certainly done it before. On board with Steven Stevenson. This should be the last lap. What a evening he has had on his way to 2 victories in 1-1.
Seas really did part for Stevenson at this round. You know, everyone fell off the track around him, and he just went through into the lead in the early stages and has built that gap up over this 20-minute race. 9 seconds to Bunn now. Lapped car just in the foreground there. Yeah, Stevenson, really, really impressive drive. You know, not really had to do anything to say, but you know, he's kept it on track, whereas no one else could manage it. So,
Absolutely. I mean, you got to give it to Steven Stevenson as he heads through Bruxelles and into No Name. Just a phenomenal performance from the man who's been in the lead. As we see some more drivers going through the epitomous No Name corner, back on board with Steven Stevenson. For the first time in this sprint series, looking to make it a clean sweep. 2 race wins in a weekend. Winning race 1 and then from P10 in the reverse grid race. A lap car to do with. Hopefully they got out of the way, and they do. Now Steven Stevenson, an easy run to the line. It's been a phenomenal effort. Phenomenal effort from Stevenson as he heads through Blanchemont, which for him at this point is quite frankly a flick of the wrist and a done deal. 1 corner to go, and Steven Stevenson is going to bring it home with 2 race wins in 1 weekend. Steven Stevenson, he brings it home. It is a clean sweep here at Spa in the Formula Trout Sprint Series for Stevenson. Bunn will bring it home 2nd, with De Groot to bring it home 3rd. Oh, Vargavor's right again. Summer Vargavor starting off. As Steven Stevenson wins, Summer Vargavor drops down to P9, pushed up into P10. A whoosh for him. As Barbary and Vanet make P4 and P5, Radocha bring it home P6. Vantaland will be in P7 after that spin earlier. There we see. There is Vogt coming home in P8. Respectable finish for him. Van Talan will, or Bargavort, should I say, some of Bargavort will finish P9 after that unfortunate spin. Donuts already at the end of the straight. Draper finishes in P10. A fantastic race that we've just seen here. A fantastic pair of races that we've seen here in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. And donuts are well deserved at the end of the day. Stevenson sweeps the weekend. And he is well on his way to the Sprint Series Championship to add to his Formula Trout Premier Series Championship. A fantastic result for him. Alex, it's been a great evening of racing, but Stevenson was untouchable today.
Yeah, like, impressive pace in race 1, you know, well-deserved win. And then, yeah, coming from, you know, P10 in the second race, maybe not all through, you know, having to make the overtakes himself, but as I said during the race, you know, on that last lap, he's the one that managed to get through. He didn't make mistakes. He managed to stay on the road, and yeah, he did the double here today at Spa in round 5, extending that championship lead even further. There's a dropped round in the sprint series, but it's not even going to matter, I don't think. The sheer lead he's got, the sheer consistency he's managed throughout the sprint series so far.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for round 5 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Stevenson with a dominant evening here at the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps to continue his dominant champion. 6 at Donington. Can anyone stop Stevenson? It's goodbye for now.